In the Adventurers Guild, Zed and Brock are preparing for the Guild Calling, the day when children find what path they will take for the rest of their life. Before they can be chosen, they find themselves drafted into the Adventurers Guild. The guild travels outside the walls of Freestone, into the wild lands between cities filled with monsters and dangers. When the boys uncover that the city might have a traitor looking to destroy all that the city had worked for, they have to work with new allies to save their town and prove their worth. This start of a thrilling new series is sure to be a hit with readers who like their fantasies clever and action-packed, with tons of humor and heart.
Welcome to Nowhere, Arizona, the least livable town in the United States. In 24 Hours in Nowhere, Gus, a bright 13-year-old with big dreams of getting out and going to college, life there is made even worse by Bo Taylor, Nowhere's biggest, baddest bully. When Bo tries to force Gus to eat a dangerously spiny cactus, Rossi Scott, one of the best racers in Nowhere, comes to his rescue. But in return, she has to give Bo her prized dirt bike. Determined to buy it back, Gus agrees to go searching for gold in the Den Frenchman mine, joined by his old friends Jesse and Matthew and Rossi herself. As they hunt for treasure, narrowly surviving everything from cave-ins to mountain lions, they bond over shared stories of how hard life in Nowhere is, and they realize this adventure just may be their way out.
In Knockout, Levi just wants to be treated like a typical kid. As a baby, he had a serious disease that caused him respiratory issues. He's fine now, but his mom and his overprotective brother still think of him as damaged. As his classmates see him as the same class clown he's always been, he feels stuck. So when his dad, divorced from his mom, suggests he take up boxing, he falls in love with the sport, and when he finds out about a school with a killer boxing team and a free study curriculum, it feels like he's finally found a ticket to a new Levi. But how can he tell his mom about boxing, and how can he convince his family to set him free?
Elephant Secret is about Samantha Gray, who is known as the Elephant Girl since she lives in an animal sanctuary with 11 elephants and her dad. When a beloved elephant dies giving birth, Sam develops a connection with the baby named Wooly, who isn't actually an elephant but was cloned from woolly mammoth DNA. And the billionaire genius behind the cloning experiment will stop at nothing to protect his investment. Smart, determined, and loving, Sam stands up to this powerful adversary to protect the sanctuary and her herd. In the best tradition of child-animal friendship stories, Elephant Secret explores the strong and complex bond between Sam and her elephants while offering a fascinating, authentic glimpse into elephant and human behavior.
In Ethan Marcus Stands Up, Ethan Marcus isn't usually a rule breaker, but one day at school he decides he is fed up with sitting all day. His refusal to sit does not go over well with his teachers and leads to detention. While in detention, it is suggested that Ethan participate in the school's upcoming Invention Day. Ethan's sister and her goody two-shoes friends participate every year, but Ethan has never had the desire or an invention idea until now. Will an idea be enough to motivate Ethan to participate at Invention Day? Told in the perspectives of multiple students, discover what really happened on the day that one kid decided to take a stand against sitting down.
Slider is about David, an average kid with an unusual talent, eating large amounts of food in a small amount of time. This is something his two best friends timed him at for fun. That is, until he accidentally charges $2,000 on his mom's credit card. Then, he has to figure out how to use his unusual talent to earn some cash before his mom finds out what he's done. Will David find enough time to train while still keeping an eye on his little brother? Will he be able to handle competing with professional competitive eaters? Or will he have to confess to his mother?
In playing Atari with Saddam Hussein, at the start of 1991, we find 11-year-old Ali consumed by his love for soccer, video games, and American television shows. Then, on January 17th, Iraq's dictator Saddam Hussein went to war with 34 nations, led by the United States. Over the next 43 days, Ali and his family survived bombings, food shortages, and constant fear. Ali and his brothers played soccer on the abandoned streets of their Basra neighborhood, wondering when or if their magic father would return from the war front. This is the story of one ordinary kid's view of life during the war.
In Boy X, 12-year-old Ash wakes up in an unfamiliar room with an IV in his arm, a head full of jumbled memories, and superhuman abilities. With the lead scientist locked in quarantine, including his mother, it is up to Ash to track a group of criminals who plan to release a deadly virus into the world. Unfortunately, a dense jungle full of terrifying creatures is between the biosphere, where he's being kept, and the getaway boat. Thankfully, he meets Isabel, a Costa Rican girl familiar with the dangers of Isla Negra. Ash and Isabel begin their journey. They quickly learn there are more deadly things hiding on Isla Negra than the bizarre fauna and the deadly flora. And there's something else. Why are all the animals watching him? Can he use the jungle and his newfound powers to defeat a deadly foe?
In Breakout, Nora Tucker is looking forward to summer vacation in Wolf Creek, 2 months of swimming, popsicles, and brushing up on her journalism skills for the school paper. When 2 inmates break out of the town's maximum security prison, everything changes. Doors that were never locked are locked, helicopters fly over, and the police are on patrol. The worst part is everyone is on edge. The fear has brought out the worst in people Nora has known her whole life. Even if inmates are caught, she worries that home might never feel the same. Told in letters, poems, text messages, news stories, and comics, a series of documents Nora collects. Breakout is a thrilling story that will leave readers thinking about who is really welcome in the places we call home.
In All's Fair in middle school, 11-year-old Impy has grown up with 2 parents working at the Renaissance Fair, and she's eager to begin her own training as a squire. First, though, she'll need to prove her bravery. Luckily, Impy has just the quest in mind. She'll go to a public school after a life of being homeschooled, but it's not easy to act like a noble knight in training in middle school. Impy falls in with a group of girls who seem really nice, until they don't, and starts to be embarrassed of her thrift shop apparel, her family's unusual lifestyle, and their small, messy apartment. Impy has always thought of herself as a heroic knight, but when she does something really mean in order to fit in, she begins to wonder whether she might be more of a dragon after all.
Everyone loves a good scare, right? In Night Books, Alex is a kid who loves scary stories so much that he writes his own spooky tales. One night, he finds himself knocking on a stranger's door. After hearing the sounds of one of his favorite movies, The Night of the Living Dead, this stranger invites him inside, but she has no intention of letting Alex leave. Natasha is a witch who only finds joy from Alex's spooky storytelling from his night books. With the help from the other prisoners at Natasha's place, Alex makes up new stories to please the witch. But then his writer's block puts an end to his stories and now possibly his life. Can Alex ride his way out of danger and out of this prison?
In Greetings from Witness Protection, the Marshals are looking for the perfect girl to join a mother, father, and son on the run from the nation's most notorious criminals. After all, the bad guys are searching for a family with 1 kid, not 2. And adding a streetwise girl who knows a little something about hiding things may be just what the Marshals need. Nikki swears she can keep the Trevor family safe, but to do so, she'll have to dodge hitmen, cyberbullies, and a specter of standardized testing, all while maintaining her Marshall-mandated B- average. As she barely balances the responsibilities of her new identity, Nikki learns that the biggest threats to her family's security might not lurk on the road from New York to North Carolina, but rather in her own paths.
In Small Spaces, 11-year-old Ollie is struggling to lead a normal life after tragedy strikes her family. Sometimes the only comfort she gets is in the form of a book. Then she stumbles upon an older woman trying to dispose of a book in a river. Ollie rescues it against the woman's wishes. Ollie escapes into the tale of one family's haunting mysteries until her world starts to collide with what she thought was just a story. Ollie finds herself on a stalled school bus during a trip to a farm. Armed with a broken wristwatch displaying alarming warnings to her, Ollie and 2 classmates make the decision to leave the bus and venture into the misty fields with only scarecrows around. But scarecrows only scare crows, right?
In Ivy Aberdeen's Letter to the World, Ivy is trying to pick up the pieces of her life, both literally and figuratively. After a tornado destroys her family's home, life throws her another blow when the notebook containing several drawings of girls holding hands goes missing at the shelter. Ivy feels ignored by her family, as they struggle with rebuilding their home and their lives. So she has no one to turn to talk about all the feelings about her identity. One day, the drawings from her notebook start appearing in her longer, along with anonymous notes that encourage Ivy to be herself. Ivy has hopes that the keeper of the notebook might be a crush, but does Ivy have the courage to share her true self with the world? Ivy soon learns that sometimes you have to have your world turned upside down to find out who you really are.
Have no fear, citizens. Captain Superlative is here to make all troubles disappear. In Captain Superlative, Janie Silverman doesn't know what to make about the girl in the red mask, blue wig, silver swimsuit, high-top sneakers, and a cape. She's determined to find out more about the girl who runs through the halls of Deerwood Park Middle School, championing good deeds and standing up to bullies. When she tries out her secret identity, she gets more than she bargains for as Captain Superlative's new sidekick. But superheroes hold secrets, and Captain Superlative is no exception. When Janie unearths what's truly at stake, she's forced to face her own dark secrets and discover what it truly means to be a hero and a friend.